Here's our 7-star boat agreement. This is the contract form that you will fill out for any of the boats that you rent from 7-Star Rental. As you can see in this top half, you're going to have your personal information here that you're going to put down: name, address, driver's license, and auto license plate. You do not have to put down a social security number. It is not recommended or required. Over here in the orange, this is going to be where the driver or the person at the location will fill out for the times in and out and the times here in and out, and this is when you return it here. Anywhere in yellow, just to let you know, is where you need to either sign or initial. Anywhere in orange is where we're going to fill out, or anywhere in green is where we're going to fill out. The orange area here, this is where we're going to put the year, make, model, CF numbers, and hours that are on the unit that you're renting. So this will be filled out. Over here we have the days, times, equipment, all the charges and everything that will be accumulated from your rental. Remember, this contract is not finalized until you bring the boat back and all the boat is completely looked at and looked over, and any damages or anything here would be documented and deducted from the deposit. So please make sure that you're taking care of the boat the entire time that it's in your possession, and that you bring it back the exact same way that you took it. Next here, this is any additional drivers. So what this does here is this is going to, this is where you're going to put down any names. You're going to put your signature and their age. If they are present, then they can print, sign, and put their age. But if they are not, you would print their name, put your signature, and their age. This is basically stating that anybody besides the person up here is going to be able to drive the boat. But if they are not here to listen to this video or the instructions given by either the driver or myself, then it is up to you, and it states that here, that you will give them proper instruction on how to use it properly. So if you put a person's name here, you're signing saying that you're going to go over everything we went over in this contract, and also over the boat or jet skis or whatever you're renting from us. Next, this is just common laws of our agreement, stating that you're going to take care of the product, you've examined it, you know how to operate it, you know how to take it out on the water and handle the boat properly. Always remember too that if you're not sure, all information given to you by us is basic information. We cannot control what decisions you make out on the water. That is not up to us. I don't know what you're doing out there. So if you're not sure on how to use this product, please do not rent it or take it and then figure it out on the water. If you have any complications or any problems, you need to call us first before you call anybody, or before you even try to fix or tamper with the unit. So please remember to always contact us, and also remember that if you are not 100% sure on how to use this watercraft, do not take it today. Over here you're going to initial and agree to all of our terms and conditions. Right here in the orange, this is going to be the body of water where you're going, whether the delta or lake. This area here, this is all late fees and charges. So we do charge if you're late picking up or dropping off, and we also do charge a cleaning fee. So please make sure that when you're renting the boat that you are wiping it down, that you're taking care of it. Also, we do not allow chips or any kind of chips or pretzels or any kind of food like that in the boat. The reason why is as soon as you get it wet and someone steps on it, they're going to work it into the carpet. So there are no chips. You can eat them, but I promise there will be a cleaning fee for getting the chips out of the carpet. Also, there is no smoking on our boats. If you get caught burning anything in the boat, it's a $250 fine. If you burn the carpet, I do charge for a full replacement carpet, because you are not supposed to smoke anywhere in the boat at all. So that's a no all the way around. So if there is a burn hole, it will be charged. So please do not smoke in our boats. Here you're going to go ahead and sign and agree that you understand this full term, and also on the back of this contract. Here on the back of the contract is going to be the breakdown of everything. No drinking and driving. You're going to call the lake or body of water where you're going to. You're going to find out all the laws prior to arriving, so that you know what their night laws are, because a lot of lakes after sunset, not even nighttime, after the sun sets, It's a 5-mile-an-hour zone with navigation lights on. So please make sure that you're following all rules of that body of water. That is up to you to find out. I have no control over what they do or laws that they have. That's a lake thing or the delta or body of water that you're going to. All of this is saying that you're understanding and doing that. The last section down here, you're going to initial buy. This is stating that if you do damage our boat past the time that I can try to repair it, if it's out of my hands, then you will be charged for business interruption. That means that if I can't rent it to the next customer, you will be responsible for every day I cannot fix it. So please do not beach these boats. Do not damage them. Don't wreck them. You know, just make sure that you're watching in every direction. You're paying attention to the things going on around you. And once again, we do not allow beaching of our boats at all. There is no beaching. You will lose your deposit if you beach the boat. So please do not beach it. But this is stating that you'll be responsible for our drive times to and from the locations that we have to take it to be serviced, or any damages on top of that, plus the business interruption. So please make sure that you're being safe with our boat. Please treat it like it is your own boat. And just make sure that you're watching out for hazards in the water. Next 2 pages, these are going to be basic boating instructions. Once again, do not drink. Anybody 13 and under must be wearing a life jacket right here. Watch out for other boats. Do not try to cross in front of them. Keep a 100-foot distance easily apart from those people, and watching the laws there. Also here, watching for signs, no wake, 5-mile-an-hour zones, night laws. Once again here, just basic instructions of what you need to be watching out for. Once again, this is not enough information for you to know everything out there, and I can't give you 100% of everything out there in just this video. This is a release and waiver form boat rental facility. What this is saying that is once you take possession of this boat, you are agreeing that you are fully responsible for anything that happens out on the water. 7-Star Rental cannot be responsible for the decisions that you make while you're out on the water. I have no control, or I can't see what you're doing out there, so I don't know what's going on. So by signing this, you're agreeing that any decisions you make out there are yours and solely yours. And you'll sign this as well. We do a full video of the boat, but you will also have a checklist. So what you can do is you will once again print, sign, and date on here, and then you will come in here and you will circle, draw a line, and put a line here, and you will write exactly what it is. Chip, down here, scratch, vinyl rip in back seat. It has to be exact wording, because we've had people just draw circles on here and go scratches throughout. That does not count. Also, we are filming this, and the driver or myself, when you come to pick up the boat, will go back through this list to validate that everything that you are circling and marking is actually physically there. So please don't just draw circles everywhere and then just write scratches. It has to be specific and put down, and so that we can see that. This is the boat inventory. You can sign this now or you can wait, but basically what this is this is going to be a full inventory of what's in the boat. Either the driver or myself will pull out each one of these items and show them to you so that you know they are there. Any ropes that you tie knots in, we charge $10 a knot. You will have the opportunity to pull out all the knots before we leave, and not charge you that. But we do have people who just start tying knots into the ropes and trying to make their own loops and things like that. Please don't do that. If you'd like, we do have ropes for sale that you can purchase, and then you can have those ones, but don't tie the knots in ours. It takes too long and it's too hard to get them out. So we'll go over the whole list of life jackets, flotation device, if you get a wakeboard, tow rope, so on and so forth. And once again, you can either sign it now or you can sign it with the driver. And this is going to be our full boater's contract.
Alright, today we have our Elite C4 wakeboarding boat, the Enzo 230 and the Enzo 240 on the outside. It's going to be the same setup, so nothing different. I'm not going to explain it again for each boat because they're going to be the same way for every boat that I explained to you. Every boat is going to come with this package here that you see here today. You're going to get 4 of these fenders with fender lines to tie off to the side of the boat. Depending on the capacity of the boat, you're going to receive these packs of jackets. These are only Coast Guard jackets. They're not to be taken out and worn or anything like that. This is only so if you get pulled over, Coast Guard can verify that there's enough life jackets on the boat to supply the people that are on there. So this boat will hold 8 to 10 people. So there's 3-4 packs. So there's 12 jackets on here. These are on here to basically keep your Coast Guard safe. You're going to receive a flag. This is always to be out at all times. If you fall in the water or someone wants to go swimming, even if you just want to jump in, the flag has to be up. If it's not, you will receive a ticket if the Coast Guard sees you. You're going to receive 2 15-foot dock lines, a fire extinguisher, and a flotation device. Both of these will be up by the driver's seat. So this is where they're supposed to be. So if you get pulled over, the Coast Guard will want to see both of these by the driver. Also, you're going to have a mirror. The mirror is already mounted. Bimini top is already up. And you're also going to receive a 100-foot rope with anchor and chain. Since I already got this, we're going to go ahead and start you off with the way to properly use the anchor and chain. The way it works is that this digs into the ground. So what you're going to have to do is stand off the side of the boat. You're going to take this, you're going to throw it out as far as you can. This is going to start to sink. And then the chain drops. The reason for the chain, which most people don't know, is if all you have is a rope, this is what happens to the rope because it's so light. So you'll end up pulling the anchor up. With the chain, it allows the anchor to drag and pull instead of the rope coming up, as you can see. You can see the chain is holding the anchor down. This will dig it into the ground. This can then be tied off to the front eyelid of the boat or to one of the pull-out cleats, or there's also an area back here to tie off as well. Never tie any ropes off into the inside of the boat hanging over the outside of the boat. The reason why is you will damage the vinyl to the boat and be responsible for having that replaced. So also you want to remember too, the anchor has to be out further than where you're trying to be. So if the water is 20 feet deep, the anchor needs to be 50 feet out because you need to allow for it to drag and set. If not, you're going to go like this and the anchor is going to lift up. So the further out you are, the better the anchor is. After that, I'll show you how to tie off. We're going to move over to this side. One of the best things with these boats to know is how to drive it properly. These boats are left turn props. So what's happening is it's turning water to the left hand side. The blade is pitching to the left, turning water to the left. Because the rudder is not connected to the prop, in reverse it's turning the other way. It's called prop wash. So with that water going the other way, there's no way to maneuver the boat with the rudder because the rudder is the only thing controlling the boat when you're going forward. So in reverse, the water's going the other way, so which is causing prop wash. That causes the back end to turn this way in reverse. So you always want to make sure to have somebody sitting here, or if you're going to launch it, to launch on the far side and launch out, allowing the boat to coast and turn so you have a safe distance from the dock or other boats to pull out. So always make sure that you're watching the rear of the boat, either somebody sitting here or the person inside. So basically, this is my favorite place to launch or tie off or approach a dock or another boat. It's always driver's side. So you can do this however you want. I'm just going to show you with one rope here. Also, you want to make sure that wherever you're in the water, that this is sitting at the proper height to the dock or to where it's going to hit something. So you want to make sure that this is sitting right where it needs to be. You can loop it like this and then pull this tight underneath the line. or you can turn it like so, and this will also tighten the line as well. What you're going to do is once you get all of these tied off, this is going to allow you to come up to the dock and approach the dock properly. So you would want to make sure that this is up, once again, at the height of where the dock is going to be. Once you have that off, tied off, the benefit of coming on the driver's side is once again prop wash. In reverse, the back end will swing to the driver's side every time. The best way to approach a dock with these boats is driver's side. When you're coming up to the dock, you're going to want to approach the dock with the nose first, slowly coming up to the dock and then reversing it. What's going to happen every single time, 100% of the time, is if you do it correctly, you're going to approach the dock, throw it in reverse, and it will kick the back end directly into the dock. It will literally go like this, stop on a dime, and park into the dock. Make sure that the angle is correct. Do not come forward with it and try to reverse it. You have to come to the side at an angle, not a certain percentage, but just make sure that you're approaching the dock. As you can see my hands. Do not approach like this, it will not work. Do not approach like this, it will not work. Come into the dock, throw it in reverse, and the back end will pivot directly in, stopping it without moving forward or backwards. That is the best way to dock these. Then these are 15 feet. You should be able to reach anywhere on the dock where there's going to be another T-handle like this, allowing you to tie off with these 15-foot ropes. Today we have our Enzo 230. Right here we're going to go through some of the stuff that we have inside of it, and then proper operating instructions on how to use it correctly. A couple of things that we have is in the first video with the Elite C4, once again, that platform on the outside is going to be the same as every boat I'm going to show you. Also, where we store the stuff is the exact same in every boat. So if you rent the Elite or the Enzo 240, just know that everything's going to be the exact same spot in every boat. So on the boats, once again, you're going to have life jackets in here. And this one's going to have 3 4-packs. So there's 12 jackets there. And this is where all of your equipment is going to be. Your 4 fenders, 4 fender lines, 2 15-foot dock lines, 100-foot anchor rope, anchor chain, anchor, and an orange flag for Coast Guard purposes. Then when you come up here, you're going to have your fire extinguisher and flotation device. That always has to be by the front of the vehicle, by the driver. So if you get pulled over by Coast Guard, they can see that's there. Next, you're going to come over here. And just like in the Elite and the Enzo 240, this is in every one. This is going to be there's a manual, a DMV operating book for DMV laws in the boat and all that. Registration, a copy of the contract, everything's in here. Also, this is for 7-Star Rental. Please do not open this and put your personal belongings in here. If you want one, we'll sell it to you. If we find out that you guys have tampered with it or everything in here gets wet, there will be a charge for everything that's damaged inside this pack. So please don't open this and put your personal belongings in here. This is just for us. If you want one, we do sell these. So just let us know after the video. That's going to be in here in the glove compartment, just like every other boat. From there, we're going to show you how to turn it on. So what you would do is you would come under here, open up this seat here, and then what we have here is the Perco switch. So with this boat and the Perco switch system, it's got an off, 1, and combined. So with the combine button, that combines both batteries to run at the same exact time. So as long as it's in combined, it's going to be running these 2 batteries here. When you're listening to just the stereo and you just want to be hanging out with the boat off, not running, you would put this on 1. What 1 does is it's going to run one of these 2 batteries, and it's going to drain only 1 battery. That way, if the battery starts to die or the stereo starts to die or you can't start at the boat, you can go to all and combined. That's going to combine both of the batteries so that you can turn the boat on and fire it up and leave it running to charge both batteries. Remember, if you have this in the combined option and you don't have the boat running, it is going to drain both batteries and you will die on the water and you will not be able to run the boat without a battery. So make sure you have these on. When you're docking the boat, have it in the off position. The only time you need to have it in off is if you're renting it for multiple days. Like at night, you can turn it off just to reserve power. But if you're renting it just for the day or 8 hours, you do not have to turn this off every time you dock the boat. This is only for at night when you're just going to be leaving. All right, so here we have our Enzo 230 dash. So we're going to go through the steps, all the switches here that we have from left to right. First off, with this boat, it has an automatic start in it. So when you turn it to the on position, it turns everything on. If you turn it one more time and let go, the boat continues to fire until the boat turns on. You do not have to hold the key down. It's not going to hurt it if you do, but you don't have to hold it. All you have to do is twist it one time and the boat will continue to fire until it starts. Always remember, do not dry start these boats. Do not start this boat out of water. If you do, you will fry the impeller because it's made out of rubber. It will overheat, melt, and break, which means you are going to overheat the boat and cause traumatic damage. So please do not turn this on out of water. So from there, you're going to have your lanyard, your horn, your bilge. Your bilge, you don't even have to use this switch. The bilge is an automatic bilge, which means it has a float built in it that works the opposite of a toilet. As it starts to fill with water, the float lifts and activates the bilge. So as long as this is, so you basically don't have to do anything with this switch, because if any water gets taken on, this will automatically kick on without you doing anything. So you don't even have to mess with this switch. The next is the blower. The blower blows air into the engine compartment. Mainly this is just if you're idling, if you're in a 5 mile an hour zone. Besides that, you do not have to use this switch if you're wakeboarding or going around the water. You don't have to turn this switch off and on. Just leave it off, because once the boat's up to speed or anything like that, everything is vented. So as you're going forward, it's pushing air into the engine compartment, cooling the engine compartment, and evacuating any fumes that are in there. This is only if you're idling or in a 5 mile an hour zone. So make sure you turn this off when you're not using it. All of these switches will burn the motors if you just leave them running. So always make sure that they're off. We're going to save the stereo switch for last. We're not going to go into that right now. We're going to go stereo switch last. Dock lights. So what docking lights are the inside lights. This one, when you press down or up, just if you're not sure or can't remember from this video, just press them up or down to see what happens. But down will turn on all the lights in the boat. So every LED light that's inside will light up. Navigation lights. Your navigation lights are built into the boat, so you do not have to do anything except the front bow light. So basically, with this navigation light on, you would come up to the front of the boat and you would flip a light that's up here in the front. Once you flip that light, you'll see that it comes on, and that is going to be your running lights at night. You do need to have these lights on at night so that other boats can see you. Also, for Coast Guard purposes, you also have to remember that it's up to you to call that body of water and find out what their night laws are. Because most lakes are sunset, which means before the sun even goes down, this needs to be on. But that is up to you to call that body of water to find out what their laws are and when these lights need to be on. So right here, what we have right here on the right hand side of the driver next to the shifter is going to be a series of switches. These are your ballast tanks. So from here, you're going to have your mid port, which is your left hand side, and your rear port, which is your left rear side. You're going to have a bow ballast, which is the front, and then you're going to have a mid starboard, which is the mid of the boat on the right, and a rear starboard, which is the rear of the boat on the right. Basically, the mid, starboard, and port and bow all work on a pump system. So what that means is as soon as you hit the switch, it's going to turn on a pump that's going to start to fill the tanks. As it does that, once they are full, you will notice that on the side of the boat it has holes like this on the side of the boat. Once you see water spraying out the side of the boat, that means these are full. So what you would do is take the orange light and turn it back to the center where there is no light. Once you do that, it is a 3-toggle switch. So forward is pumping in, back is pumping out, which these are labeled, and the middle is doing nothing. So once you are done using this switch, you would press back. What that would do is that will start dumping water in reverse, which means that you will see water coming out of the hole. Once the water stops coming out of the hole, the ballast tank is empty. The rear port, which is the rear left, and the rear
starboard, which is the rear right, these are run on a dump tank system, which means that in the back a big floodgate opens up, allowing water to flow through at a rapid pace. So basically, once you hit this, you'll see on the dash that the dash will read on here that says opening floodgates. Please do not drive the boat. The boat has to be completely still to fill these floodgates. So please make sure that you're not going forward while trying to fill the gates. Once again, once you are done with that, you would press out. Always make sure that you have your ballast tanks empty before starting your day. Reason why is the more water you have in this boat, the more weight you have in this boat, the more fuel you're going to burn throughout the day. So please make sure that you're emptying all the ballast tanks and then making sure that they're in the middle position. Because what happens is if you just leave this like this, you're going to burn the pump out and you're going to cause the pump to burn out, and then it's not going to work for customers later on. And we do check all these to make sure that they're still working properly when we get the boat back. So please make sure that you're making sure these are in neutral positions. Ballast tanks are empty when you're not using them. Bottom switch here is a underwater transom light. So when you hit this, it actually will put lights on underneath the swim platform in the back of the boat. And that's how that works there. Moving over here to the far right, you have your shifter. The way the shifter works is you would put your fingers here, lift up on this to push forward. You would do the same in reverse. If you do not do that, the shifter will not move. Also remember that if the shifter is not in the neutral position, the boat will not start. So you have to make sure that the shifter is not like this, the boat will not start. You have to make sure it's here, give it a little shake, make sure it's in the middle, and that will allow the... Going into a couple more key features down here, this boat has a built-in heater system. The way the heater system works is it runs off the heat of the boat. So once the boat is warmed up and heated, then this heater system will start kicking out hot air. So you have low, medium, and high. Basically just works like a car. The faster you're going, the more air you're going to pump out. The ventilation systems, there is one here. There is one right through the walk-through. And there is also one underneath the passenger seat. Please make sure you're being careful with these and not breaking these off. As long as they're down and people weren't fooling with them, they should not be broken. So make sure that you are watching people, not playing with those. Lastly, this has a heated seat. So here has a heated seat for the driver. If this is on, you need to make sure you're watching this as well. If any of these lights are on when you're not using the boat, all of this is draining power. So whenever you see something on, if you're not using it, make sure you turn it off. Because if you don't turn it off, this boat will drain all the power out of it and it will die and you will not be able to start the boat. So please make sure all this stuff is being turned off. Lastly, what we have here is the dash on the Enzo 230. So this is where you're going to be doing all of your functions besides all the switches that we just went over and showed you. So basically right here, this is always going to take you back to the main dash. So once you're here, this is your main display. Going to have temperature, oil, miles per hour, everything that you need here. This has a navigation built into it. Really, there's no real purpose for this. You can play with this, but it's not really a function for lakes or anything like that. It's just a cool feature that they've added to the boat. The next switch with the speaker is the stereo system. The stereo system, once again, getting into this, we do have a stereo switch. Without the stereo switch on, the stereo does not work. So if you do not see the stereo switch is on, then the stereo will not work. Right now this is showing a USB cable port here. Once you have your phone or anything like that, the USB will be in here with the stereo system. You can't see it right now, it's kind of dark, but there is a plug in here for your phone, cable for a charger and all that, and it runs through the system inside the boat. Once you plug that in, once again from here, from the dash, you would press the stereo button. This would be the stereo. And right here would be the up and down key. So as you can see, this is going to control the volume. And this is going to control front to back, what song you want to listen to next. Remember, this is not a touch screen. So if you touch the screen, it does not matter. It will not do anything. You need to be pressing buttons on the side of the display or it will not work. From there, we'll go through all the buttons so you know. Please do not play with this one. It's the one with the little speedometer thing on it. There's no need to be in that. Also, there is no need to be in this bottom setting here. All of these other ones, if you get in here, you're going to screw yourself up and you're going to screw this boat up. So please do not press these two bottom left ones. Always to get back is this top left one.
you press that, you'll always go back. Stereo, top left one, you go back to your gauges. So what you're going to mainly be doing here is this one on the top left to run the display. The other one right here on the left to run the stereo. Back to display. And now to run the cruise control system, because this does have a perfect pass system in it, which allows you to set a speed. What you would do is you would repress this button and watch this right here. It's going to go from off to on. Once it says on, this boat is now in a cruise control setting, which means that over here with the up and down, you can control your speed, which you can see here. As you press this, this is what you would set before driving the boat. So if you had somebody wakeboarding and they said, I like to go 21 miles per hour, you would set this to 21 miles per hour. Once this is set to 21 miles per hour, you can then start to get the boat up on plane, start driving it, and get it up to speed. Remember that you need to have the throttle still around 21 miles per hour. This will beep at you and take control. But if you floor it and you gun it, then the boat is going to be fighting the cruise control system, because the boat's going to be going 45 and this is going to be trying to go 21. So please make sure to put the throttle right around where 21 miles per hour would be. Once you get that, you can adjust a little bit of the speed from here. So if somebody says go slower, thumbs down, you can slow down from here. Somebody says faster, thumbs up, then you can speed up from here. So everything's done from here. Once you're done with that, to turn the cruise control off, you would press this button on this side to turn it off. Once again, this side to turn it on, and this side to turn it off. Also remember that if you are driving with cruise control on, the boat will bog down. It will fight you. So you need to make sure that if you're not wake surfing or wakeboarding or doing something, that the cruise control setting is off. If it is on, the boat is going to fight you and try to go slower than you're trying to go. So always make sure this is off. Lastly, what we're going to have here is a trim indicator. There's a plate in the back of the boat, and basically what this does is this adjusts the plate up and down. So on here on the dash, it's going to have 100%. So that means it's 100% down. As this number goes up, you're raising the plate up. What that does is raise the plate up to full capacity. 100% means down. The way that works is you have a plate on the back of the boat. This is the plate. If you press the plate all the way down, it's going to press against the water and force the nose down. If you raise the plate up, it's going to raise the nose up, sinking the boat. So 100%, 0%. If you have it on 0% doing 45 miles an hour, the boat is going to go like this, because the boat is trying to dip down in the back and then go faster up. So you need to make sure that when you're just driving the boat, that you have the plate all the way down to keep the nose down so that you can go straight. Remember, up, you're going to keep the nose up and force it to jump. The reason for the plate is that if you have it lower, it's going to bring the back end out of the water, keeping a smoother wake. And as you raise the plate, it will actually drop the rear end down to allow a bigger wake. So you can adjust this to adjust the wake in the back for the